Hi guys, welcome, Scatlink here, and we are off for our next Let's Play, or more should I say, our series of Let's Plays. The entirety of the Reignited trilogy of Spyro is happening. We got the Reignited trilogy, it's day one, it's launch. I've already gone through the terms of service, for whatever reason it wants to lock you into that. And yeah, I've actually got this downloaded with all the pre-order bonus themes and all that, so we can actually talk about that once we're actually done with the entire trilogy. I'm not too sure if I want to cover it, like the bonuses relating to the one game, or do it all afterwards. But that's a thing, because, well, the old original intros, like the screens and whatnot, they're the only things that didn't really get remade, because once you press the button, you're on a file screen like this. You have 3 files like usual, but all of your data for all 3 games are tied in here, unlike in the Crash Insane trilogy where you choose your game first and then just click load and load your file that way. You choose your file and then you choose the game, and it's tied in that way. And since we've already now done Spyro the Dragon, we're now going on to Ripto's Rage, or Gateway to Glimmer as it was known in the UK and Europe, but it's just been generalised to Ripto's Rage because I'm guessing that was the more popular name out of the two. And I guess Gateway to Glimmer is kind of pointless considering that's only one world, with Ripto is pretty much the main bad guy of the entire thing. Spoilers, but you get the idea, these are remakes. For now though, we need to have a little look at the achievements that we're going to have to work towards. So we got, obviously, Ripto's Remorse, so more like Ripto's Reclusion, shall I say. That's a joke that's been spouted around the whole goddamn time. Yeah, I'm recording this quite late at night. I forgot that it actually displays on screen. Wow. But yes, we've got pretty much less trophies than before, but I believe it's one for pretty much every level in the game yet again. So we got light 6 gem lamps in 15 seconds, complete Hunter's Challenge, don't feed the hungry idle any red fish, charge a goat and colossus, defeat every robot in Hurricos. Most of these, once again, we're probably going to get on the way to 100% completion, and it is 100% completion. There's no additional stuff, well, other than the trophies, of course, but they're out of game, so I don't count them toward the percentage. I just count them as, you know, Stu getting every single one. The skill points are unchanged from what they were before, by the way, so they're the classic Insomniac skill points, and most of the time, I will be going to get them after we actually beat the game, because there is this one skill point that you can't actually get without the thing that you get by beating the game 100%, so that'll be a thing. And that will probably go toward the trophies as well, but I'll try my most diligentness to actually grab most of these as we go. But remember, the trophies were not included in the original Spyro games on the PS1, so I would want to leave these for a bonus episode like before, but if we get any on the way, then they'll just be a coincidental grabbing of the 100%. So yeah, unlock the permanent super flame. I guess that's spoiler right there. That'll be the thing that we'll get once we beat the game, so we'll be needing that. I like that. RGB, fuse all 3 power-ups in Ripto's Reno. That may not happen. That may actually not happen, but I'll try, like I said, I'll try my diligentness to actually do that. But for now, I think it's actually time to jump into the second adventure of Spyro.
Rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what the sun looks like. We should go on vacation. Somewhere warm. Somewhere sunny. Dragon Shores, yeah! I haven't been there since we kicked Gnasty Gnorc's butt. How about it, Sparx? You up for a vacation at the beach? Last one there's a Gnorc!
They actually did a record scratch there, that's kind of cool. And they didn't torch that poor sheep again. But it doesn't actually say Dragon Shores on the portal now.
Is it working, Professor?
Almost. Just a few more adjustments to these orbs and...
Maybe this isn't such a good idea. Bringing a dragon here could just make Ripto more angry.
Calm down, Hunter, and stop fidgeting.
But you saw the professor's book. They have claws like this, and teeth like this. And they can spit fire like this! They sound much more dangerous than Ripto.
That's exactly the point. A dragon is our only chance of stopping Ripto, and you know it.
It's working! It's working! I've got a dragon!
Huh? Whoa, rough landing. Hi, which way's the beach? Huh? Hey, stop staring. Haven't you guys ever seen a dragon before?
You're a dragon?
You got a problem with that, pussycat?
Ooh, burn. Speaking of burning.
Well, well. Someone forgot to invite me to the party. Were you trying to keep something from me?
He sounds like a pirate.
A dragon? You brought a dragon to Avalar? I hate dragons. Yeah! Crush! Kill it! Kill it!
Whoa, kill? This is kids' entertainment.
Go, you imbecile! You ate my scepter! I'll deal with you later!
Who was that jerk?
That was Ripto, and we have to get rid of him. He's causing all sorts of trouble around here, but I haven't got time to explain. Here, take this magic guide to Avalar. It'll help you begin to understand our worlds. Right now, I have to follow Ripto and see what he's up to. I'll meet you in Summer Forest, okay?
Hey, wait a minute! How do we get ourselves into these messes, pal?
Coincidental nonsense. Can I just say I like Ripto's new design? In fact, I will talk about the other characters' designs later, but we don't even know their names at the moment, so I want to leave my thoughts on that for a little bit later. But for now, we're immediately in our first level. It's not even a hub world that we start in, it's actually a level. And as our UK/European namesake, if I tap the touchpad button, which is our guidebook, we are actually in Glimmer! We went through the gateway to Glimmer, and that gateway is now completely destroyed, so we can't even go back to Stone Hill. So that's kind of a problem, but we'll find another way back, don't you worry. For now, though, if you have...
Spyro!
okay.
Welcome to Glimmer! Unfortunately for us, a mob of lizards just showed up and started stealing all of our gems! Can you stop them?
Yeah, proper lip syncing for the, inhabitants of each world, and we actually have inhabitants of each world now, which is kind of a thing, and it's unique to every world, more or less. And yeah, that's something that's new for Spyro 2. We pretty much got to help out the inhabitants of each world. We're not in the dragon realms anymore, so it's not just all dragons, and they're not frozen, so we haven't got to save them. We just got to stop the Riptox from, well, being annoying. But yeah, what I was trying to say before I got locked into that, by the way, every time you approach a NPC, you'll automatically lock on to a talk to them. If you want to talk to them again, they'll have a triangle, well, or the action icon, I guess, above their heads, because this is on the Xbox One now. But yes, if you haven't seen my playthrough of Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 1 Reignited, then you would already know that I absolutely love the fluidity and tightness of the Reignited controls. It just feels a lot more smoother, better, especially with the analog control. But yeah, basically, if you haven't seen the first part already, I'm going to basically just streamline it for these Let's Plays because I've already covered them. It's pretty much exactly the same as where it was. The controls are consistent throughout the entirety of the trilogy, even Spyro 4, believe it or not. And that's into the Dragonfly, but we won't go into that. Touchpad is your guidebook, and pressing options is your traditional start button. We have gems, we have an orb, okay, and we have our live counter yet again, but we don't all have any gems that surround, or pearls, should I say, that surround our live counter. Getting 25 normally gave us a 1-up, and killing 20 fodder would result in a blue butterfly, which would also give us a full heal and another 1-up. Which only existed in the Reignited versions, because from now on, if you want 1-ups, you pretty much just got to take out 10 fodder or so, and you will get a blue butterfly for it. That is pretty much the only way to grind 1-ups. The pearls are gone, and that's pretty much the standard throughout the rest of the trilogy up to this point. Pearls are gone, blue butterflies are the only way for 1-ups, that's how it works. Statues are gone. So, yes, first of all, we want to... Wrong button, what am I doing? It's been a bit of a break. I've been playing Starlink a lot. I'm used to pressing different buttons. The control scheme, you can do the Reignited or the Retro controls. The only difference is that if you go for Reignited controls, you regain the ability to roll left and right, which was originally a Spyro 1 exclusive ability, but they were given to something else. But the Retro controls now actually incorporate that into the main control scheme, because the right analog stick is our camera, even though in Retro controls R2 and L2 do the same thing anyway. It's because L1 and R1 didn't actually do much else other than holding both of them for a first person view in the original in a different kind of way, as well as another skill, which if you look at L3 right there, if you click in the left analog stick, we have point to treasure. Yes, you start off with that instead of having to use a cheat code in the second game and earning it in the third. It's a consistent thing throughout all three games. You can point to locate treasure. Pretty cool. And yes, if you go for Reignited controls, the R2 button is basically like a trigger for your flame attack, which is quite nice if you just want to look, charge and jump without having to, you know, move your thumb off of jump or charge in order to flame. Of course you can't charge your flame while charging, but that's a thing. So we also have Rumble, we have our move list, so if you need to have a look at everything here. Got a little bit of spoilers there. We weren't able to swim in the previous game, but we do have swimming controls. We just have to unlock it. That's kind of a thing. But you would notice that our jump X, no, jump X, that's jump is X. Jump action, because it's different for Xbox, but in the traditional controls it was X triangle. That used to just make us drop like a stone in mid-glide. Now it actually gives us a hover, but we haven't been taught how to use that yet. But we do actually have it throughout the entirety of Spyro's adventures onwards from here. So we can actually use it out of the bat without actually knowing. So that's pretty cool as well. We have a map. I've turned that on in the previous game. All your settings are pretty much the same from the entire trilogy onwards. If you change it in one game, it'll be the same in the next. So keep that in mind if you're playing the Reignited version, and that's all I really have to talk about. In Glimmer, we have 400 gems to collect and 3 orbs. We have no dragons this time, we have orbs to grab. So, but we also have these light pearly orbs that we have in our HUD menus, that's kind of a thing. So we have gems up here, and if I click in the left analog stick, Sparx points to the nearest one, as you saw right there, he's sideswiped. And they all have different shapes this time. In Spyro 1, they all look the same shape, but they all had different colours. Now they have different shapes, and that is also a staple that carries on throughout the entirety of the series up to A Hero's Tale, because I think they changed it. So, yeah. Some changes to the physics is that when you glide, you kind of like go into a little bit of a dash, and the camera automatically centers behind you, which, to be honest, messes me up. And when you're charging, it's momentum based, so if you do scuff something, you will slow down for a little bit, but when you're on like supercharging panels, you will eventually pick up your speed again, and you have to be on those panels in order to raise your maximum speed. It's not just instantaneous. So keep that in mind, but it is definitely a lot tighter. For the hover, that's the hover, and it feels quite buffed in this game, because like, if I like say from here, and I want to glide, I didn't make it because I did it at the very edge. In the original, that's how you would normally use it, but if you want to use it properly, do it a little bit earlier, and you get so much extra air out of it, it's awesome. But there's also a little bit of thing, you can't like jump and then glide and immediately try to hover. That was something that you could do in the originals, but you can't do it here because that used to break the game and allowing you to like pretty much do a pseudo double jump. Now you have to glide for at least half a second before you can actually hover. That's something that I've noticed. My friends and other people play this game, so that's a thing. And there has not been a patch for the Reignited trilogy. That's something I want to get into right now. We had a few snafus, technical-wise, with the game. With Sparx not picking up gems, or gems just not following the laws of gravity properly when they pop out of chests, and that caused a lot of problems. Hopefully we won't have many of those issues in this playthrough, but as you saw, you had to go walk around to that butterfly earlier in order to pick it up, so that's kind of a thing.
Hi, Spyro. I'm a friend of Alora's, and she asked me to help you out. Whenever you find me, I'll remember your progress. Like this.
Checkpoint!
That zap means that if you get into trouble, I'll return you to this place. See you around.
That also actually auto-saves your game without actually saying auto-save. And it did that in the originals as well, funnily enough, without you knowing. Because when you go through level to level, it says auto-saving. that happens when you get a checkpoint as well, because as you saw, the Spyro kind of like had a little silhouette in the corner that ran. That's basically the game auto-saving. I mean, if I just go over here after grabbing that gem and do it again, trigger it again. There we are, that silhouette, that means we're auto-saving. That happened in the original as well, but there was no indication that it was happening, because it was more fast and instantaneous. Of course, HD games, they have to save to a hard drive. Even if it's solid state, it still takes a little bit of time. It's not just like an 8 megabyte memory card with an 8 kilobyte memory or something. It's... wait, was it 8 megabytes? No, it was 8 kilobytes, wasn't it? No, that's the memory. I can't remember what the storage for PlayStation 1 memory cards are. Maybe I'm thinking of PlayStation 2 memory cards being 8 megabyte. I don't bloody know. They were tiny.
We gem cutters are a bit too short to climb these ladders. And it looks like you are too. After you learn to climb, come back to Glimmer to see me.
Why would you have ladders if you can't climb them? That makes no sense. And by the way, if I look there carefully, looks like there's already one of your mates up there. How did he get there? Did he jump on your head? Why can I not do that? It's probably because I'm squished. Alright, so starting off in Glimmer, we'll actually get into like the actual game for now, because we've just been talking about other technical stuff. We want to be grabbing as many gems as possible starting off. In fact, you know, since it's a collective one, we want to grab everything anyway. Big enemies, you need to flame them, they can't be charged. Small enemies can be flame or charged. Enemies with metal have to be charged. If they're big in metal, then you have to find out some other way on hitting them, because you can't flame them. Enemies with metal pretty much are unflammable.
Ah, you must be the dragon everyone's talking about. Well, dragon or not, I'm afraid there is a small fee to open the bridge. It will cost you 100 of your gems to cross.
Moneybags is a greedy whore. He wants to pretty much charge you at every moment he gets in order for you to get past. This is just the beginning.
Thank you, Mr. Dragon. Spyro, was it? You can now use the bridge whenever you want, free of charge. I hope we meet again, when you have even more gems.
Well, at least the bridge is open to us at every given opportunity now. And I missed a gem. No, I missed 2 gems. You know, I'm not going to say anything for now. That could have been me, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But I'm not going to say anything else other than that. Right, onwards.
To get a good look around, press the action button. Try using action to look around this cave.
Yeah, similar to how that the dragons in the first game gave us tutorials. Zoe's the one who gives us tutorials here, but if you've played the first game, you would probably know how to play the game already. Plus, you can pause to look at your moves. I don't know, it's a little bit odd. It's funny that, because the original didn't have that, but you would easily be able to figure it out by playing. I mean, we weren't even told how to defeat enemies, like, with our flame or anything. We actually get taught that later on, so it's a little bit weird. But, you know, gotta be nice to the kids, because then if you didn't know how to kill enemies, that incentivizes backtracking, which you will have to do in this very first level anyway. We'll get into that in just a moment. But for now, I don't know why Sparx wasn't grabbing that yellow gem. I had to go back and grab that myself.
Spyro, thanks for helping us fight off the lizards. Please take this talisman of Glimmer as a sign of our gratitude.
And this is pretty much our goal for every level.
This magic portal next to me will take you to Summer Forest, one of the homeworlds of Avalar.
And that is pretty much what we need to do in order to get out of every level. We need to open up the exit portal in order to get back to the hub world. I mean, you could obviously do it by just, well, if we had the option to, exit to hub world, but we don't actually have that at this point. I mean, hell, we haven't even been there before, so we can't even click it in our guidebook. Which, just like in the first game, you're able to warp to any level in your guidebook if you've already visited it before by just choosing it in the guidebook. You weren't able to do that before in the original, but you can do it in the entire trilogy. It's some quality of life bonus. But about the backtracking I was getting into. We're able to do quite a bit in our first level, but funnily enough, the first level is the level that we're going to have to actually remember to backtrack once we get to, I believe, the next area. Like, pretty much the 3rd way through the game. Oh, and that portal just activated. That gate just activated. They're similar to portals, you got to pass through them to activate them. But yeah, there's a gimmick for this game, and that means that every world has a gate like this that gives us a superpower if we pass through, and the icon pretty much clues you in what it will give you for that level. And you can only use it in certain areas or throughout the entire level, but with a time limit. They're powered by those... there we are, those pearly orbs that we've been freeing. Every time that we knock out an enemy, we free out one of those orbs. They're basically spirit orbs, and that's what you need to activate the thing. It sounds kind of morbid, but it's the only game that does that. So you don't have to beat enemies in order to get gems, but they do lock off challenges and stuff. So, and that was fodder right there for this level. It was a ladybug. Those butterflies are what give you health. Sparx is your health meter. Yellow is full health. Blue is 2 hits left, so full health is 3. Green is 1, and if you get hit again, you lose Sparx. You will not have your little treasure magnet of him grabbing the gems and stuff for you until you get near a butterfly, and one more hit will kill you.
These little lizards have eaten my entire crop of gems. I've tried hitting them with rocks, but they're too fast for me. You can try using one of my rocks. If you have any questions, just ask me.
Well, I don't blame you, buddy. You have stubby arms. You probably won't be able to get a good wind-up. Hit the little lizards with rocks. Talk to Bonza for some additional hints. Give me that. So, we got to jump and spit. Hipper! Got him.
Nice shooting. Follow me to the next lizard.
When you have something in your mouth, all you got to do is use your flame to pretty much shoot it with combustible energy. I think that's the idea. I tried to hover there, it cancelled out because I didn't glide for half a second. But that's how you get up here. Nope, didn't happen again. Yeah, it was quite annoying to like see this in action to begin with, but like now that we know how it works, it's just a method on just trying to get the right amount of glide time to the hover so that the hover actually works. Messed me up there, but I knew it wasn't working, and I know why it wasn't working, so I couldn't get mad about that. But in the original, I wouldn't have had to glide for that for half a second in order to do the hover. I could have just pressed the button immediately and I would have hovered. So that was kind of a problem. We've also got whirlwinds here. These are pretty much allow us to elevate to another higher point in the level. Just checking to make sure I haven't missed anything. There is stuff over there, so I want to come over here. Let's hover. Boop! There's some gems over there. We'll grab them in a minute.
You can spit pretty far, Spyro. See if you can spit all the way to the lizard.
Don't worry, boy. I'll nail this shot. If I can grab the thing. Hipper! They do arc a little bit, but not majorly. Right, I think he's going to hop off to another area, which we will catch up with him in just a bit, because I want to mess that up. Well, you know what? We don't need to do that properly, because we can actually use this gate. We'll just grab these two first.
Great! The Superfly power-up is active, and you can restart our gem lamps. Flame all the lamps quickly, and the big gem lamp will light. The power-up will give you enough magic to fly for a short time.
Will it? Yes, so Superfly power-up. In the previous game, there were places called flight levels. They pretty much give you infinite flight for the entire level, and it was like an obstacle course. Time attack mode. In this game, we do have their equivalents, but in certain levels we will be able to actually fly infinitely, but for a short time. So we will be able to have full control on actually flying as long as we pass through this gate. And our challenge is to light all these lamps, which should be simple enough. Just go around in a circle, and this will actually give us our first trophy for the day. Oh. As you can see, our flight is running out, but we have just enough power to make a full lap, and there we go.
Thanks for helping me light the lamp, Spyro. A fairy gave me this orb, but I like gems better. You take it instead.
Well, you are gem cutters, so it kind of makes sense. And for completing a mini mission, we get a orb. An orb. English RB hard cannot do. Hypersonic. Light 6 gem lamps in 15 seconds. So we did it in the time limit. If you do it for the first time round, which isn't very hard to do, you'll immediately get it. So it's not really that hard of a challenge to do, and you pretty much will get it along with the orb itself, and that's part of 100% completion, effectively. Now here's the thing, we're up here, but we can't just come up here and flame him, which is kind of funny because this is his mole hole, and yet he just went in underground there. If we walk away, will he pop out? Oh, I think he would. Or will he not pop out on screen? I'll probably have to do this. No? Oh, there we are, he just pops out. So yeah, you can't just go up to them and close and personal and whack them, you have to hit them from a distance.
To hit that lizard up high, you'll have to aim. Press the action button to aim, then press the attack button to spit.
So yeah, you know you can press triangle to look around, but that becomes your aiming when you have something in your mouth to spit. And you get a nice little reticle so you can aim properly. Oh, he paces. Makes it easy for me. We can just jump out of that, and yeah, I believe we've actually got to follow this guy all the way through the level in order to get his orb. So yeah, if you're going for... All you need to do is get to the end of the level in order to get that... What was it called? Talisman magic pick. But, for other parts of the level, for missions such as this, they'll reward you with orbs. Oh, he ain't going to talk to me this time. Fair enough. Oh! I talked to him when I tried to go into first person. Or was it third person because we're behind Spyro and not actually in his head? Who knows? I thought I was actually far enough away from him that I wouldn't have talked to him by pressing the triangle button, but apparently not. So we'll just bound through the level like the nice little critters that we are. And find the next lizard to snipe. Checkpoint, please. Thank you. Come on, where are we going? We're over here, are we? Give me that. Where is he? Where is he? He's a sneaky one. There he is. Got him. I like how the rocks just explode on contact. Apparently he's got bomb rocks on him. What is this, Pikmin? This game was Pikmin before Pikmin was Pikmin. Yeah, that's the one I was after. Oh, stop telling me to aim. I was pressing the button to aim. That's annoying. Again, I didn't think I was close enough for him to actually trigger.
Yay! You've saved my crop of gems from the lizards. Here, take this orb. Some girl with wings dropped it here yesterday.
What? Zoe? Down there? How'd she manage to do that? It's like half the size of her. How are you supposed to... If you drop something like that, you would clearly notice. Then again, she's a fairy. Maybe it popped out of her refill pouch because of magic and whatnot. I like how we can take the rock again if we need to, but we don't. And yeah, one thing that you'll probably notice with worlds in this game is that they're incredibly short and compact. Just like the first game. That's because all the challenges are pretty much like, use the entire world to its advantage, and I just literally went from the beginning to the end in just a matter of seconds, and that's really cool, because that means if you have missed something, it doesn't take very long to backtrack, and yet the levels are so packed with collectibles, you're never going to find a point where you're going to be bored, but we've seen in that cave in the middle there that we kind of need to get to a higher point, so why don't you say that we start flying, but we want to keep an eye on our timer in case if it starts to run out. Unless it starts to speed up immeasurably so, but we are able to get up here. And yeah, for some reason, as soon as we went through that archway to come into this room, that power-up decided to drain quicker than it's supposed to. That's because you're not allowed to actually use it here, because if you look over there, we've got another gate. And you're intended to use that gate. You're not going to have enough time to light all the gem lamps in here to activate the main gem over there, because they intended to use that one, which is kind of a dickish move, to be honest, because that pretty much locks it behind. So we can't really do anything about that. For some reason I couldn't jump there for a moment. So what we got right now? 374 gems. I don't think we can actually get all the gems for now, because I think the rest of the gems are actually up there. So sadly, we can't actually beat the first level of the game 100% on our first visit, so we will have to come back, which is actually kind of out of the ordinary in a way. But because we're not actually supposed to be here because we just got dragged in, maybe that's the idea. This is a foreign country that we're in, and we have no way of getting back to the Dragon Realm, so yeah, for now, we just gotta leave. So just like in Spyro 1 Reignited, you can actually mess about in the loading screens here. In the original, these were just pretty much here to, you know, be similar like this, loading screens for the next world. But they were so quick, you weren't able to interact with them. But here we can barrel roll, which you can't do in normal flight, because you'll just do, like, different tricks instead. In automated, though, or on the floor, you'll be able to barrel roll.
Oh no! Oh, hello. We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves before. My name is Alora.
Hi. I'm Spyro. What are you, some kind of goat?
I'm a fawn, you dork.
Oh, sorry.
Did you meet the gem cutters in Glimmer?
Yeah, they gave me a souvenir too. They called it a talisman.
They gave you a talisman?
What, is it special? I just stuck it in the guidebook you gave me.
Well, there are 14 talismans in Avalar, and they are all magical. If you can collect enough of them, they can be used to defeat Ripto. Hunter, where have you been?
Oh, I got a little lost.
Spyro's gonna help us collect the talismans.
I am?
He is.
Spyro, look. There's no way you can get to Dragon Shores right now. Ripto and his monsters have taken over the castle here in the Summer Forest. You're going to have to go to Avalar's worlds and convince the inhabitants to give you their talisman. You can keep them in your guidebook.
Hey, I could do that. Why doesn't the dragon just torch Ripto?
Hunter, you can't even keep track of your running shoes. How can we trust you with 14 talismans?
Yeah, we've already got one.
If you come across any orbs, they're important too. But I'll tell you about them later.
Okay, no problem. I'll collect a few talismans, give Ripto the old hot foot, and be in Dragon Shores by lunchtime.
I don't think it'll take that long unless you're a speedrunner, but yeah, that was actually the trailer cutscene that was actually used to introduce Alora's new design, and I do like her design. Not a fan of Hunter's, but Hunter, how the hell did you get lost in Glimmer? It's literally a straight-on road, unless you went around the same rock about 50 times, and even then, didn't see you when I had to backtrack through the level for some orbs. So yeah, there's 14 talisman. That means there's 13 levels left to go. Sounds like a short game, but not really. It's actually bigger than you'd think, even though the levels are compact. So, we're just going to have to keep an eye on that for now. But yeah, the orbs will definitely keep us exploring, because we need to grab those as well, but we don't know what they're needed for right now, and apparently it's not important enough for being told, because Alora thinks otherwise, and obviously that mole dude was the professor. Give me that one up, thank you. So yes, as I said before, blue butterflies are 1-ups, but they do also count as full heal, so if you are hurting for health and you find a blue butterfly, instead of grabbing it immediately, you might want to save it until you're low on health. And how did I miss that? I walked right by that. Sparx, I swear, you're already doing the jankiness that you had in the previous remake. Why are you doing this? I do not know why, but in the Reignited versions, Sparx is a little bit picky with some gems. Sometimes he just will not pick them up. Even if you click in the searcher for him to point to it, and even if he's inside it, if you're standing right next to a gem, sometimes he just won't pick it up. You'll have to pick it up yourself. It may be a small nitpick, but that shouldn't happen, because it never happened in the originals for PS1. For some reason, he's just picky. And, like I said, we haven't had a patch for this game yet, so that's a bit weird. Come on, Activision, get on that.
Spyro, this is the homeworld called Summer Forest. There are portals to many of the Avalar worlds around here. Unfortunately, Ripto has taken over the castle, and we need your help. Start by retrieving the talismans from each of the worlds you visit.
I like her, like, NPC talking animations. I mean, yeah, I will, as I've said before in Spyro 1, the graphics are absolutely amazing and beautiful. The problem is that there is a bit of a frame rate stutter, and I don't understand why that is a thing. Especially since I'm playing on the PS4 Pro. So, yeah, maybe that's just some sort of performance issue. And of course, the game did have a day one 20 gig patch, because for whatever reason, the first game is fully on the disc, and the second and third games are not. And it feels a bit weird talking about most of this stuff, because I've already covered this in the first part of the first game. But in case the people didn't want to see that, I'll have to cover all bases for the first episode.
Hey, Spyro. Ripto smashed this bridge, so I guess you'll have to glide across it. Press the jump button, then press jump again while you're still in the air to glide.
Hunter, you didn't even know about dragons until the professor showed you with a book. How do you know how dragons operate unless you read that in the book as well? Are you carrying the book? And I thought you were a little bit snidey with me. Why are you helping me now? Doesn't really make much sense there, but alright, we'll just glide on and take it. Alright, so yeah, all the music is remixed as well, if I haven't already covered that already. And most of the remixes are pretty much similar, but obviously a lot more instrumentational than they were before, instead of synthesized. Even though you can switch to the original compositions if you want. The same composer who made the soundtrack for all three games did return for the remixes, so that's cool. So you know that they've still got the quality behind them. It's just personal preference if you want the original synthesized spacey originals, or if you want the more atmospheric instrumentational versions with the dynamic music for when you're running and you have that and when it like goes a little bit more somber when you're in a building, which is actually pretty cool. Alright, so Moneybags is here again. We saw him get kicked out. I guess he owns the castles around this place. In fact, can I get a blue... oh, where did all the sheep go? Oh, there they are. Can I get a blue butterfly from you guys? I mean, I don't really need to knock him out, but that would be nice. Let's come over here. Yes, we can swim in this game. We're not just going to die by hitting water. For whatever reason, I guess the dragon waters are a little bit more spicy than every other place. Maybe. I don't know how that works exactly. We'll talk to Moneybags in a minute. We're almost done for now. We're actually going to be ending the episode off pretty soon. Of course, my first episodes are a little bit longer, but that's kind of a thing.
Hi, Spyro. You look like you're pretty agile. Let's try putting it to a test. See if you can get up this first step. Press the jump button and hold it down to get more hang time.
Yeah, so I just want to go... that's the reason why my first episodes are always longer is because we got all these tutorials to get through, and I'd rather get rid of them in the first episode if possible.
Okay, not bad. Now to make this next jump, you'll have to glide. Press the jump button, then press jump again at the top of your jump to get the maximum glide distance.
The thing is, I could actually skip this dialogue, but then we wouldn't hear the new voice acting.
Nice job. Now, try to do a hover. Press the jump button, then press jump again to glide. When you reach the end of your glide, press the action button to hover. Hovering will give you extra height and distance.
Oh, look at you being all smug, when you can just do it in one big jump. But I have a buffed hover, so what are you going to do? And yes, this is how we actually learn how to use the hover. And thank God, because then I won't drop like a stone unless I do it too early, like I kept on doing in Spyro 1 because I'm so used to having the damn hover. That will no longer be an issue, unless I do it too early.
Very good. Now for the hardest leap of all. You'll have to give this one everything you've got. Get a walking start, jump, glide, and hover just before you get to the edge of the platform. Don't forget to press forward on the left stick when you hover.
Unless we hit the edge of the ledge and we do the Reignited exclusive pseudo hover, if it decides to go off, unless I get stuck on the ledge for like half a second or something and then I just bash and fall. So, I don't trust you. I've learnt my lessons. Hippie! Didn't even need to do it properly.
Wow, you're a pretty good athlete. If I hadn't lost my running shoes, I'd take you on for real. For now, here's an orb for your collection.
I'm pretty sure you're never going to find those boots. They're gone. Probably Link has them for Pegasus reasons. Yeah, I will say this. I like the effort that... yeah, trophy for completing a tutorial, thanks. You get that with the orb. But yeah, I like the effort that they're going to put into Hunter's new dialogue. Because it doesn't sound forced, but at the same time it is that kind of, you know, surfer dude.
The dragonfly following you around is your health indicator, Spyro. The brighter he is, the more hit points you have.
Thank you for interrupting me, and second of all, I've already passed you by and you zapped me. Why did you not give me this tutorial earlier? That was a bit odd. But I wanted to talk to this guy before I finish.
Sorry, Spyro. I'd love to teach you how to swim underwater, but not as much as I'd love to take your treasure.
Wow, you're already being an arsehole. And it costs 500, which we only have 419, and for the most part, we're not going to get up to 500. So we're going to have to go into another level before we can even learn how to swim, so all those swimming stuff that we saw in the menu, we can actually do. So I think we'll be ending it off here. So in the next episode, guys, what most people would normally do is head into the portal behind here, which is Idle Springs. I'm not going to do that, for in the next episode we are going to go into Colossus first. For that, I'll see you guys then.